to another page in my angler's diary. Thank you for joining me. This is a first today. I can't remember ever fishing this early in the year for carp. After my last trip, which you may have seen, up to Scotland, the Big Loch, fishing for the pike, it was pretty evident that the pike were in full-on spawning mode, and so rather than keep pestering them, I thought, why not try for an early spring carp. I've come to one of my local club ponds. This is Brentley Pond. The carp in here are, in the main, sort of stocky size, 6, 7, 8, 9 pounds maybe. Although there are a very small number of very mature carp in here, which very rarely come out, to be honest. But I thought it might be a chance to see, just to see if I could catch an early carp. Anything exciting? I'll be back. Well, that's almost an hour. Nothing to report. Did that sound a bit over ambitious? Tactics? Well, very simple. The flatbed feeder with pellet and a single grain of sweet corn. It works here, has worked here for me previously, so I thought, why change it? Well, that's 3 hours and no signs of life. The other reason I thought I'd give this a go today, as well as giving the pike a rest, was that we've had 4 or 5 really warm sunny days, and the carp that I have in my pond at home have really started feeding quite strongly, and so I thought, well, if they're doing it, the carp in here might be doing it. Although I have to say I was surprised how cold the water still is here. So I don't know whether I'm grasping at straws here or not, to be honest. We'll see how we get on. Well, 5 hours, and the whole of the natural world seems to be waking up. The buds are bursting, the birds are singing, frogs are doing lengths of the pond. The only thing that's still dormant appears to be the fish. I'm beginning to despair now. Well, I'm afraid that's it. A blank. Still nobody caught anything on the pond, so I'm going to give it a week or so and try again. See you then. Right, good morning, and back again, back on Brentley. As I said, I would give it another go. It's been a little bit over a week, to be honest, because in the intervening time we've had some pretty cold weather, even snow, so I didn't think that was conducive to catching carp. So, as I say, a little bit more than a week since I was here, and I've come to the other end of the pond. The last time I was here, I was fishing the shallower water, and that failed to produce, as you've seen. So I thought I'd come down to the deeper end of the pool just to see if this is where the fish are. I've only just got set up. I'm a little bit late starting. Couldn't get out of bed, but we'll just have to see how it goes. And needless to say, as I always say to you, anything interesting, and I'll be back. Well, that's almost an hour, and nothing to report. nearly 5 hours and not a touch. Well, that's session number 2 and still no carp. It's got to be third time lucky, hasn't it? Well, here we go again. Session number 3 and another crisp morning. Quite a hard frost again last night. Bright and sunny, mind you, but cold, so whether I'm wasting my time remains to be seen. Well, that's us halfway through session number 3 and still no signs of life. This challenge is proving to be exactly that, a challenge. Well, rather unbelievably, I've just had a knock on the maggot feeder. It's not what we were after, but it's a fish. I end up with a roach. Well, that's the third session and still no carp. So it's self-evident really that the carp haven't switched on at all. There's not been one caught by anybody today as far as I can see. So I think I'm going to give it a week or so before I try again. And in the meantime, I may have a journey down to one of my other club waters in Yorkshire, just to see if I can catch a spring tench. Can't be any worse than trying for a spring carp, can it? See you soon. Well, good morning and welcome to the Tench pond. I've decided to take a break from my campaign for an early spring carp, which has failed to produce anything for me, and instead I've come here to see if I can catch an early spring tench. Now, I got a nice tench out of here last year. It's a lovely spot. There's a couple of other guys on and we're all fishing our first session on the pond, so it's a bit of a lucky dip. We don't know whether it's fishing or not at the moment. Well, I've seen a couple of fish move, so you never know. Fingers crossed. It would be perfect if we could get a tench. I'll be back if anything of any interest happens at all. Well, tactics. Well, I had to make some changes in that regard because I had planned to fish one rod with a large maggot feeder and a magaliner rig with maggot hook bait, and on the other rod a large cage feeder for ground bait and maggot, with popped up maggot helicopter rig with a bit of red rubber foam on it. However, when I got here this morning, there's a sign on the gate to say the club has banned the use of all artificial baits plastics, rubbers and foams, and so I've had to de-rig the Magaliner and take the pop-up foam off the helicopter rig. Not the end of the world, obviously, and I know some club waters where artificial baits have been banned for quite some while, but it's new here, and so I was taken by surprise, as they say. Hopefully won't make any difference. Hopefully. Well, I've got something. Last. And I think it might be what we came for. Oh no, no! Oh no, dear God, no. Well, I don't know. I'm going to switch the camera off and have a quiet swear. Well, I think I've got the bile out of my system. After all that time, I don't know, it must have been 4.5 hours, and it was almost certainly what we came for, but it dropped off. It can be a very frustrating game, this, and particularly early April. It's my least favourite time of the year in terms of the fishing seasons. Water's still cold. You have to work hard for your bite, so it's particularly frustrating when that sort of thing happens, as I'm sure you're aware. It's exactly what we came for. Yes! Fantastic! Well, that has made my day. It's not massive, but it's the most welcome fish after all of that. Look at that. 5 pounds on the nose, and as I say, a very, very welcome fish. After all those carpless carp fishing sessions, you've got to be happy when a plan eventually comes together. Let's get it back. Fantastic. As I say, that's completely made my day. Well, that's it. Safe to say I enjoyed that today. And at least I got a reward for my effort. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Next, well, it'll either be more carp or more tench fishing. So I hope you'll be able to join me for that. If you've stuck with this one, thank you very much. Do appreciate it. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.